Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Saoirse. I'm a knitter from the Pacific Northwest area. This is my channel where I talk all about my knitting. Normally I have a knitting podcast and that's primarily what I post on this channel. But of course it is that time of year again where we're doing the everything that I knit in the past year videos. So I'm going to be showing you all the things that I knit in 2024 to kind of wrap up the year, and I'm super excited to share all of the things that I made this year. And it's cool to kind of just gather everything and see it all together. It's you know, definitely some projects that I kind of forgot about and ones that I have not forgotten about, and I'm just really excited to kind of go through them all and chat about my experience making them, as well as updated thoughts on, you know, how the yarn is wearing and if I like the style of things and if I've worn them or if I haven't and why not, and all of that fun stuff to talk about. So we'll get started in a minute here, but just really quickly, I do want to say I'm potentially going to be changing my channel name to The Cozy Soul Knits, just because this channel is a knitting channel. I'm not posting anything else on it anymore, so this is just a knitting channel. And I kind of just want to change it to The Cozy Soul Knit so it matches my Instagram. And if you like knitting Instagrams, you want to follow me, I'm at The Cozy Soul Knits over on Instagram. And if you're new here and you like knitting podcasts, make sure to hit that subscribe button before you go. I would love to hang out with you in 2025 and talk about knitting with you. So if you end up liking my vibes, what I'm knitting on, and you think you might like my podcast, definitely subscribe. And yeah, we're gonna go ahead and get into this. I feel like the easiest way for me to make sure that I don't forget anything is to break this up, not by chronological like order from when I started or finished something, but I'm just going to break everything into categories. Like first I'm going to show you my socks that I knit, then I'll do accessories, and then I will do my garments. And within those categories, I will try my best to do chronological order, but honestly, I am not the most organized of people. I have a knitting notebook and I will write down when I started something and when I finish something, but it's because sometimes I take longer on some projects than others, it just gets really difficult to kind of visually see like what order I finished things in. So it'll hopefully be somewhat chronological within the categories, but potentially not. So, and then the other like last thing to mention, and it's probably pretty obvious, I'm not going to be sharing anything that I gift knit. So there's a couple of things that I had knit, or there was at least one like hat that I knit that I did intend for myself, but I ended up gifting it to my mom. So I'm not going to try and, you know, track those down or anything. So obviously there will be a couple of things missing that if you've been watching my podcast this past year, you might, you know, notice or not that there are a few things that I'm not talking about. But everything else that I knit is here. So it's currently literally New Year's Day. I didn't really have anything going on, so I just thought I'll go ahead and film this. What better way to ring in the new year? So it is January 1st, 2025. But if I say this year, I'm most likely talking about 2024 because I have not, you know, obviously adjusted yet. So I feel like this past year, 2024, I did not knit as much as I did in 2023. At least it feels like it. I may still have knit the same, you know, amount of time or like put the same amount of time into knitting as I did in 2023. Maybe I didn't. I don't really know. I feel like some of the things I was knitting were a bit more complicated in 2024 than they were in 2023, so obviously they're gonna take longer. But I also just feel like I was pretty busy in 2024. I moved twice. I had a lot of things going on. I was recovering from burnout, just had a lot of changes in 2024, and I feel that probably did impact my knitting. But I definitely like thinking about garments. I don't think I knit as many garments as 2023. I can't remember off the top of my head how many I knit in 2023, and honestly it doesn't really matter, but it would be kind of interesting to go and look and see how things compare. But I maybe did spend more time doing accessories this year. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. I feel like I've said everything I need to say. So I'm gonna start off with socks, and you'll have to you'll have to forgive me. Two of my pairs of socks have not been washed recently. I've worn them, and so they're not looking their best, okay? And they have a lot of dog hair on them because, yeah, my dog's hair is just everywhere, and I feel like a lot of my knits just attract the dog hair. So I'm gonna show you my two pairs first that I've been, wearing, and they're, again, covered in dog hair. So again, please don't judge me. I didn't really prepare like for this video, so a lot of my stuff is like, it's just been in my dresser or I've been wearing it, so things might be a little wrinkled, things might be not looking their best, so just bear with me. Anyways, first pair of socks are these guys here, and these are just a pair of vanilla socks. I knit them in Sewrella yarn from one of the Taylor Swift collections. I don't remember off the top of my head which one, but I believe the sock set was 1984. That's what they're looking like, and again, please ignore the dog hair and any parts that are looking a little worn. I feel like this, it's definitely pilling. Let me see if I can kind of, sorry, you know what? Just turn on my overhead light in my room. I don't know if that helps, but they're, they're looking a little worn, a little loved, but I feel like they're not in terrible shape. There's like, I wouldn't really call it felting on the heel. It's just, it's just getting worn, but not I feel like in a bad way. And I wear these socks a lot, so I don't know. I feel like they're holding up fairly well, and I'm pretty happy with them. These are definitely one of my more favorite pairs to wear. The hand-dyed yarn is, very soft on my feet and everything, so it's just a nice experience. And I feel like, I just throw these in the wash and then air dry them, and usually they look better than this when they're nice and clean. So I have more sock sets still from Sewrella yarn that I have not knitted yet, and I'm looking forward to knitting with them again. I think that these were fun. I feel like the yarn's holding up well. Color on the yarn I feel like is holding up well. I feel like you can kind of see maybe, I don't know if it might be getting kind of blown out on camera. I feel like there's maybe ever so slightly a little bit of color fading on the like foot and heel, but not a ton. I feel like it's not like super noticeable. So yeah, I like those socks a lot. I wear them all the time. My next pair of socks is knit out of Knit Picks. This is the Ambrosia colorway, Ambrosia salad colorway, I mean. And I knit these, I can't remember when I knit these. I think in the fall. I think there was kind of like I was going for kind of like a Halloween thing with this color, even though it's definitely more of a summer colorway, I think is supposed to be. I don't know that I wear them as much, but they're also holding up really well. And I did an afterthought heel for these guys just to not interrupt the self-striping portion. I don't really have too much to say about these guys. I like them, they fit well. I think there was something funny on one of these where maybe I accidentally knit the toe a little bit longer on one of them or something like that, but it's whatever. Yeah, so I mean, I do wear these quite a bit. I feel like maybe not as much as those other ones and some of, my even older socks, but they're definitely still great. I love them, and I would use this yarn again. I don't know that I'm the biggest fan of self-striping yarn at the moment, but I could definitely see myself wanting to do another pair at some point. So these ones have been nice, and I'm gonna go ahead and move on because you don't need to look at my dirty socks for too long. Okay, and then my next 3 pairs of socks are unfortunately ones that I have not worn yet. I don't know why, but this next pair here I have not blocked. These were some hand-dyed, or it was a hand-dyed sock set from, I believe it was Nanette Wake Studio. I just found them on Etsy, and they had some really colorful colorways that I purchased a couple maybe in 2023 actually, I can't remember, but finally got around to knitting one of the sock sets. Oh, it's so blown out. I'll just hold them back here. For some reason, I think I knit these over the summer, and I think I maybe I don't know when I finished them. I'm so sorry. I feel like none of this matters. Once I finished them, I ended up kind of setting them aside, and I kept forgetting to block them, and I still haven't blocked them. So I'm gonna like put these out so that I can make sure I get them blocked, because I feel like I would probably end up loving these. Okay, and then these ones are blocked, but I haven't worn them because when I went to go snip off the ends after blocking, I realized that a couple of them didn't look like they were woven in, at least on one of the socks, and I was kind of in a hurry, so I like didn't do it then and there, and then I forgot. So I haven't worn these yet, but they have been blocked and they're beautiful. This is a sock set by Potions and Purls, which is one of my all-time favorite hand dyers for like sock sets. You can find them on Etsy. I'll leave them linked down below. I really, really love her colorways. They're always so beautiful. All of the other ones that I've made from her socks, I have worn quite a bit, and I do really, really like them. So I just, for some reason, didn't weave in some of the ends for some reason. I don't know. But again, I will take care of these, and then I will be wearing them quite a bit. They're super soft, and I just, yeah, I really, really like her sock sets. And last pair of socks that I knit this year were my first ever colorwork socks, and these are the Blooming Lavender socks. This is a pattern by Charlotte Stone. I have the Stone Knits like first volume of colorwork socks book, and hopefully in 2025 I will knit some more of them, but these unfortunately I cannot get them over my heel. The colorwork is just a bit too tight. I have yet to troubleshoot what exactly happened, though my friend Amanda actually gave me a really good suggestion to kind of try to put them on inside out to see if I could tell if there was like a certain section of colorwork that was maybe the issue, and then I could potentially try to do something there. So I'm not entirely sure yet what the issue is and what a solution will be for these, but I was also using the yarn that I used for these for a gift knit, and so I needed to see like how much yarn I had left over for troubleshooting these. So now that that other gift knit is done, I can actually figure out what's going on here and what I might be able to do to fix it. But unfortunately they don't fit as is. That is just, you know, a reminder to everybody to try on your colorwork socks as you're going and make sure your floats are not too tight. So those are all of my socks, and I am actually kind of shocked that I haven't knit more. I think especially because I have currently 3 on the needles, so I'm looking at these and be like, really? These are the only ones that I knit this year that I finished? But yeah, they are. Okay, I'm gonna switch into accessories, and I'm gonna show you first a pair of fingerless mittens that I knit. Just put them on real quick so I can show you. This is a pattern by Kalurah. I will have all of the patterns linked to their like Ravelry in my description box if you are curious about looking at any of them more closely, but this ring light is killing me right now. Hopefully you can see. These are the snow fern mitts, I think is what they're called. And yeah, they're cables, and they just create this beautiful design here, and I love them. They're amazing, and they fit really, really, really nicely. This yarn is Knit Picks Swish DK. I'm trying to remember, I think I just really needed some mitts. I was like, it's cold. This was like, I think at the beginning, towards the beginning of last year of 2024, and I was just like, man, I really need something for my hands, like going and taking my dog out in the cold, like I need something. And yeah, I had this pattern and I went for it, and it was so much fun to knit. I definitely could see myself doing this again, like this pattern, but also just like mitts in general. I would love to knit some more of them. This is a superwash wool, I'm pretty sure, and I feel like, yeah, it's holding up really well. I don't wear these a ton, like, to be completely honest with you. I forget to put them on most of the time when I'm taking my dog out, and I also forget to like take them with me when I'm going out and about. So they haven't gotten a ton of use, but they are very warm. They feel really nice on my hands and not obviously like too itchy because it's superwash wool. They just worked up super quick, and I would totally knit with these again or knit these again. As far as the yarn goes, I would definitely work with it again. It's got a really beautiful like heathered coloring to it, I feel. I can't remember exactly what this colorway is called, so you'll have to just check the description box unfortunately. But I had like 2 skeins of this, and I think I was planning on making a hat out of it at some point, but then I just never did, so I ended up using it for some mitts, and I think I still have a little bit left over that I can maybe do something else with. But yeah, this is definitely one of my favorite things that I knit in 2024, I think, to be completely honest. I just think it turned out so well, and I'm low-key. No, I'm not low-key. I'm just obsessed with them, period. And then I'm going to move on. My next accessory that I knit is not fully done, but I'm gonna include it anyways, and it is my Kindle cover. This is it's called the Sturdy and Cushy Kindle cover, I believe. It was a free pattern on Ravelry, and it's just like this kind of, okay, it's really blown out, I'm so sorry. I don't know what this pattern, I forget, it's like woven stitch pattern or something, like the stitch pattern, and it's blowing out so much, I'm so sorry, but it has this little flap. There's supposed to be a button here, that's why it's not fully done, because I haven't sewn on the button. I just keep forgetting, but it'll get on there eventually. And then yeah, your Kindle just pops on out here. I really like it. I think it came out really well, and I had some leftovers of, what is this called? It's from the brand Quarter Cakes, and or like hand iron quarter cakes, and it is their 2 scoops colorway, and I had knit an Oslo hat with this, and then I had 2 skeins of the yarn, and so I think I used one and knit an Oslo hat, had a little bit left over because it is DK weight, and then I used the other skein, and now I have 2 left over of both. Oh yeah, because this was held double, so sorry. You're holding a DK weight held double, and then, so I had the two balls of this yarn, and I was holding it double, and yeah, I think I still have a bit left. Nothing, probably just something to do some scrappy little project with, but yeah, I really love this because I love these colors, and I just like that I get to look at this a lot, like, because I usually reach for my Kindle most days, so I get to see this almost every day, and it's nice. Creates a very thick fabric. It is very sturdy, very cushy, as the pattern name suggests, and I feel like it is very easy to kind of alter the pattern a little bit, modify it a little bit to fit whatever e-reader you have, because the pattern is a bit older, so it was meant for a Kindle that was a little bit smaller than the one that I have, but it ended up stretching quite a bit, so I think, did I add? I don't know if I added any more stitches to it. I think I just kind of started knitting it and kept checking to make sure it would fit and stretch, and it did. Maybe I added a couple more stitches? I'm not sure. But I feel like it would be easy to work out if you had a much smaller Kindle or e-reader or a bigger one. So now we've got a couple more accessories to discuss, but these are all kind of like shawls or scarves of some sort. So what I'm going to start with is one that I started in 2023, and it just took me forever to get it done, but it's probably one of the things that I knit this year or finished this year at least, that I am just so obsessed with, and I'm so pleased with how it turned out. This is my Geo Gradient shawl. This was the West Knits Mystery Knit Along shawl for 2023. Obviously did not finish it in 2023, that's why it's here. But I finally finished this. It took me almost like a year, just because I was working on so many other things, but I love it. I love the colors that I used. I used the, what was it called? It was like the Baroque gradient, I believe, and it's using Life in the Long Grass single. I think they're just called, they're like singles. fingering weight superwash merino wool. Here it is. I feel like all of these sections were so much fun to do. I could definitely see myself like many years in the future knitting this again in like a different color. Like it was just so much fun to do, and I loved the dip stitch. I loved this section here with kind of the zigzagging portion. It's just really nice. So yeah, I feel like this yarn is very soft. I do feel like it will pill quite a bit, to be completely honest with you, but I'm okay with that. I don't wear this like ever because I don't really wear shawls. I don't really know how to style them for me and what I like. So this is just something I would kind of just like, if I'm just chilling at home, I might throw it on over something, you know? I did not want a repeat of taking like a whole year almost to do the West Knit mystery knit along shawl. Thankfully, I did finish the one from 2024 as well. With the 2024 mystery knit along, I have not blocked this. My blocking mats, I don't have enough for them to be big enough to block shawls. I kind of had an issue with blocking this one. I mean, it was fine, it turned out fine, but it was definitely like, I had to like just have parts that were like hanging off the blocking mats, and so I just haven't blocked this one. All of the ends are woven in, but I just haven't blocked it. But this is the 2024 mystery knit along shawl, which I also really love, and I'll just kind of throw this on as well. Again, haven't worn it because it hasn't been blocked, but I think this is just something where I would probably just kind of wear it like this, like honestly, or maybe as like more of a wrap scarf situation, but I'll just kind of show you. I will have the yarn that I use listed below. The pink is Cascade Yarns Heritage, I believe, in the highlighter guava shade, and then I did add a green mohair that was a leftover from one of the sweaters that I knit this year, and then the kind of white color is a hand-dyed yarn from a farmer's daughter, and I believe the shade name was A Case of You? Something like that. I can't remember, but it's their, I think it's their Foxy Lady base. So all of that information will be in the description, but this is my 2024 mystery knit along shawl, and I definitely went in a very different direction, like color-wise, this year. So it's kind of fun to try out something new. And I just put together, like this one, I did one of the kits that Steven was selling on his yarn shop, like online. And then this, I just put together my own because I wasn't really feeling the pre-made kits this year. Also, I will probably be doing the mystery knit along for 2025. I mean, if there is one, I hope he continues to do them. But I think I will definitely be partaking again because participating? I think I will be participating again because it just is so much fun, and I feel like I always learn so much, and I get to try out like new to me techniques, and so it's just like a good time. I really enjoy it. So if you recall, in 2024, Bridgerton season 3 came out, and while I was watching that, I was knitting on my Bridgerton doodle cowl. That's not what it's called. It's the Regency Romance doodle cowl, but I keep calling it my Bridgerton cowl. This is a pattern by Pacific Knit Co, and I used the yarn kit from Moonglow Yarn Co, which I believe she's actually restocking. I don't know when this video is going up because like sometimes I take forever to edit. Hopefully it'll be up soon. I do think that she is bringing back this like these colorways, so you may be able to snag them, or they might already have gone up and they might be sold out again, so apologies if this didn't go up in time. Anyways, so this is a colorwork cowl, obviously, and I'll go ahead and put this on. Ignore my hair if it starts to look really crazy as I'm like trying everything on. Yeah, this is the cowl. Again, I haven't worn this much. I think, I did put this on the other day, and it was very nice. It was like I was just feeling so warm and snuggly and very just nice and comfortable. It's because it's super wash, I feel like it is definitely nice around the neck. It's not like scratchy or anything. And yeah, I love it. It's so much fun. I would highly recommend these doodle cowls if you haven't tried them yet and you like them. I'm very, very obsessed with these. I have the yarn for the ocean doodle, and I also have the yarn, and I've cast it on, and this is from like 2023, the autumn doodle, and I still haven't finished it, so I need to get back to working on those. But yeah, this one was just so much fun. I'm so pleased with how it turned out, and it was just a lot of fun. It's just, you know, it's all over color work. I love it so much. So super glad that I got to knit that this past year. And then I have another cowl that I used to use up some scrap yarn. So this is the Coastland cowl. This is a pattern by Annie UD Knits. Scratch myself in the face. What I was gonna say was, I believe Annie UD Knits, her podcast, I will leave it linked in the description. But yeah, this is the Coastland cowl. It's got this really beautiful lace pattern that kind of runs up the side here, and I am knitting this in yarn that I had left over from when I was knitting the Lanark sweater by the Crayabea. This is Pearl Soho knitting yarn in the colorway Lark Brown. So this is the cowl. It's super cute, right? And again, I just feel like if you had like a coat, maybe a sweater, and then like a coat, like, oh, you'd be so warm. This is what I think this yarn is merino wool. So again, it's not super scratchy up here or anything. I just feel like it's nice and cozy and warm. I actually have not worn this. It was sitting in this room instead of where all my clothes and stuff are, so I continually forgot to ever wear it. But I feel like this is something where I need to start remembering these two things are options for me, because I will get so cold when I'm like out and about, and I just feel like literally this would help so much. So I really need to wear these. If you are, if you're still, you know, doing some gift knitting, or you just have, you know, non-winter holiday related gift knits to do, this is, I feel like, a really good option. It worked up super quickly, and I was actually considering it, like it uses such a little yarn that I was kind of considering using some just like leftover yarn to make more for some, like a friend and my mom maybe. So I just think that this would make kind of a good gift knit. It just worked up really quickly. There are 2 different gauge options for this pattern if I recall correctly, and it's just like basically you just go up a needle size to like hit that gauge, or you go with the smaller needles to get a smaller gauge. And I think it just depends on like what you want and how, oh no, that's it. It was you can knit 2 different sizes of this just by like the pattern just tells you to do different gauges. So like the instructions are the same, like there's not a different stitch count, but if you go to the larger needles you get a bigger bigger gauge, so bigger, you know, bigger size of this. I want to say, like, at one point I went back and looked at this pattern again, and I feel like it calls for a DK, or no, it calls for a worsted weight, I think. And then this yarn I thought was a worsted weight, but it's actually DK, but it works out fine. So if you were looking at this pattern and you're like, oh, I don't really have any like worsted weight yarn lying around, but you had like some DK weight, you could still do it. And I feel like it turned out a decent size and everything. So I don't know why I thought that this yarn was worsted weight. I just did for some reason. But and then my last finished object of 2024 for accessories is something that has not been shown finished on my podcast yet. So if you're someone who watches my podcast, this is a spoiler for next episode, but I did finish my Wood Witch wrap. So if you're new here, I'm a bit obsessed with Moonglow Yarn Co. I love Whitney's yarn so very much. All of her colorways are always so beautiful, and all of the kits that she puts together for all of these like super fun patterns, like the colors just always go together so well, and then people make like the most beautiful patterns using them. And so I just have a little bit of an obsession. I feel like well, okay, it was only 2 things that I knit with her yarn that I finished anyways. I have some socks that's also with her yarn that I haven't finished yet. But anyways, so I guess it's not that many that I knit this year, but still, like, I did buy quite a bit of her yarn this year, I feel, and I don't regret it because it's all beautiful and amazing. And this is my most recent finished object of one of her yarn kits, and this is the Wood Witch wrap by Rachel Keener. And I don't know how to wear it. Can you tell? Not really sure how to. It's a wrap, so it's not really supposed to be like a scarf, but like a little wrap situation, which I just don't know how to style or how to wear, but we'll figure it out eventually. I just think it was so much fun. As you can see, there's all these different sections with different textures, and there's like this smocking section here, there's this section, there's this eyelet section. Ooh, that's my phone going off. This is really blown out, but this is jacquard. I'm probably not saying that right, forgive me. There's some brioche up here, some little baubles here. But yeah, I've talked about this a lot in recent podcast episodes, and I will be talking about it again coming up, so I don't want to like go too much in depth here. I also literally have not worn it because it just came off the blocking mats like a couple days ago, so I haven't had a chance to wear it. But as always, I'm really pleased with how Moonglow yarn blocks, and just like, it's just so beautiful. I love it. Okay, but yeah, squeeze this one in under the wire so it counts for this year and not next year. So that was not my, I finished one other thing right after I finished that, and it is literally sitting in front of me on blocking mat, so I don't know if I'll be able to show it to you. So I do have one more garment that I did finish in 2024. It's just that it's not quite dry. I may take it off and just briefly show you, but I'm not gonna try it on and stuff because it's just a little damp. It's like almost dry, but just not quite. So next up is garments. This is the part that I'm most excited to talk about. It's probably the one I feel like people are most excited to watch. So we're gonna go ahead and get into it. I am going to show the garment, and then I'm gonna put it on and talk about it more. And again, I am not entirely sure like the order that I finished everything in, so I'm gonna try to talk about it in the right order, but honestly, well, let me try. I'm getting out my knitting. This is my knitting notebook, by the way, nothing fancy. I think that this is the first garment that I finished in 2024, and it was the last test knit that I did, and I haven't test knit since this, not because of my experience doing this test knit at all, but I just, after this one, I got really busy and haven't test knit since. This is the Freya sweater. This is by Joanna. I am not sure if I'm pronouncing her name correctly, so apologies if I'm not, but I believe her Instagram handle is Yarn Me Up, and she has some really unique patterns that I feel like the style of them are very different than what I normally see. I just feel like, yeah, a lot of her stuff is, I don't know what like the vibe would be. It's just like, I want to say it's a bit more like, sometimes it gives like dark academia, other times it gives more kind of like, I don't know, like rocker edgy vibes kind of a thing. And it's just, yeah, it's just very different than I feel like a lot of the garments that I see other designers knitting. So if you're looking for something a bit different, or just something maybe that you haven't seen before and want to add something unique to your knitted wardrobe, I would definitely recommend checking her out. This is the Freya sweater. Hopefully you can see the detail. It's really hard to tell in the viewfinder if it's picking it up. But I knit this in, it's an alpaca yarn. I can't remember the brand name, and I believe that they went out of business like right after the test knit. So something loops, like sweet alpaca, I don't remember. I will have it in the description, but this shade that I got is like this kind of berry wine color, which I really love. And then I did sew in a zipper, and honestly, I didn't sew it in super duper well. Here, I awkwardly try to show you. Can you see? It's kind of coming undone up here. which is making it a bit hard to unzip it. So I need to kind of go back and fix that. It just makes it really difficult to like get like the leverage you need to unzip it. So but I'm going to unzip this and put it on for you and then talk about it a little bit more. So this is an all over cabled sweater. It has obviously the zip on it and it has this kind of folded over collar. The construction is super unique. Look wise, it reminds me a lot of the Lanark by the Creabea, but like construction wise, it was way different. I remember like thinking like, oh, it'll probably be like the Lanark, but then when I cast on, I'm like, no, this is totally different. Yeah, it was just like in a really fun way where I'm like, oh, I haven't done this before, so I feel like I'm kind of learning something new. Very exciting. So you can kind of wear it like with the collar folded over like this, or you can zip it. I'll kind of just show you. I think that on me, my neck is not quite long enough to like really wear it like this. Like I feel like it kind of the fabric like bunches a bit oddly on me when I have it up like this. I can't tell in the viewfinder if it looks like, if I can see if you can see what I'm talking about, but sometimes it just feels like it's not quite, you know. Oh, I feel like this is like the perfect height. I can just show you. I don't have to like move too much, but this is what it looks like. I am going to put this down because this is just like normally how I would wear it, like this. I loved doing these cables. It kind of has this like chain look to it, and I remember this cable was so fun because when you're doing the cable, you're doing the same cable every single time. So there's no place where you accidentally, like, you know, when you're doing a cable sweater and it's like you accidentally do a left-leaning cable when you're supposed to be doing right or whatever. You don't have that issue with this cable design because you're just doing the same cable over and over again in the same way. So it like, yeah, it was just really, really nice not to have to really worry about that. I don't wear this a whole lot, to be completely honest with you. The sleeves are just a little bit too short. When I'm kind of like moving around, they do kind of come up to be more so like bracelet length, and if you know me, you know, I love this. I love to be able to do this, to just have my hands kind of in the sweater, and that is hard to do with this garment. I would be able to put up with that. However, I just feel, and this is not, I don't think that this is, sorry, I'm like, oh my god, I'm so pale and white. Sorry if I'm blinding anyone. It's not the pattern's fault. I just don't think that the shape of this is super flattering on me personally. So I don't want to like put you off of the pattern. I just don't, I can't quite explain it. I don't like how deep this part is. I don't know how to just, do you see? Cause like when I'm like, I don't know. I just feel like it really broadens this area, and I'm already a, you know, a bit busty, right? So there's times where yes, we like to bring a little attention to the tatas, you know, but normally I don't really like to like make them look a lot bigger than they already are, you know what I mean? And so I just feel like this isn't flattering on me personally. Like it just, I feel like it really draws the eyes here and like across, and I just feel like it makes me sort of look odd in this area. Do you get what I'm saying? Do you understand? Hopefully. I just feel this weird thing where it feels like everywhere else is fine except for just like through here. Not really sure like what could be done to fix that. I don't know what this like construction would be called. It has like this shoulder detail. Oh my gosh, that's so cool. Do you guys see this? It has like this coming down here. Like it's such a cool construction. I don't know what this part here is doing, you know? So just like, I don't know. I just feel like it gives me a weird shape. So I don't wear it that much. But it's like, I want to wear it so bad. Maybe potentially if I had gone down a size. This was definitely my era where I was knitting probably like I was going off of my full bust and then picking, you know, the size based on like how much recommended ease there is. And lately I've been sizing down to try to get things to be a bit more fitted, just because I am petite. So like, I don't know if maybe that's part of it. I don't know if it's just the style of the, you know, the way that it's constructed. I don't really know, but I just know that every time I see it, I'm like, oh, I want to put this on, it's so beautiful. And then I go and I put it on and it's like, I just feel here is just not great. But yeah, this, I feel like this yarn like bloomed so beautifully, like just the cables, it's just so gorgeous. So I feel like if you've knit something with this kind of shape before and you really like it on yourself, I would definitely recommend checking out this pattern. The other thing about it that I personally would have liked is if this zipper went down just a tad more, but that's, you know, it's not a huge deal. I just wish it kind of, and maybe again, might just be how it sits on me. I feel like when I was seeing pictures of other people in it, it looked like the zipper went down a little bit more. So I don't know if it's just something about my shape and it just doesn't work with my shape. I don't know, but we can move on. Anyways, that is my first make of my first garment that I finished of 2024, and I just wish it was better fitting in the chest area. Like if it was, I would wear this so much. I'd be wearing this like every single day, and I think it's a really great color as well. So it's just unfortunate, but it is what it is. They're not all winners, and sometimes it's just not anybody's fault. It's just, you know, just is what it is. The next one that I have, this is the Uptown Tea, I believe is what it's called, by Tori Yu, and I knit this in Knit Picks Muse Fingering in the colorway, I think it's Poetic, and it's just this kind of raglan t-shirt with lace details on the sleeves. And don't look too closely at my sleeves. There's one where I messed up the lace pattern and did not realize it, and I'd already messed up and ripped back, and I just didn't feel like doing that again. I can't remember. It's not as noticeable now that I've had some space away from from this project. It's not, I'm like, did I mess up? Maybe no. Yeah, there it is. Is it? Maybe. It's hard to tell now. So maybe I didn't need to worry about it so much because I can't even see it. I'm gonna go ahead and pop this on and kind of talk about why I don't reach for it a ton. So I will be right back. Okay, so here it is, and can you kind of, oh my gosh, I feel like this is just making me look like I'm really nitpicky, because it's like not, I feel like it's not doing it. I guess like I don't love the sleeves on myself personally, and because I kind of just like, honestly, I wish they were just a bit longer, and I could probably go back and fix that to be completely honest. One thing that I was kind of having an issue with when I first made this is that when it blocked, it kind of like did this weird thing where it kind of like was pulling out here and kind of just had like a weird shape to it. I feel like it's not doing that anymore. I don't know if the yarn has kind of relaxed since I knit this, but I actually, like, in the viewfinder, I'm like, hey, this is actually kind of nice. I feel like I should wear it more often. But yeah, there's a little bit of an up close with the sleeve. But yeah, I mean, I guess I could just like knit the sleeves longer. I have more of this yarn. I have a full skein of it and whatever left over from, I think I used up a full skein and like a lot of the second skein, and then I had a third skein. So I could definitely make these longer. I think she also came out with a version of this that has long sleeves, or she updated the pattern and included instructions for sleeves. I cannot remember, but I almost feel like I would wear this more if it had longer sleeves. Just because I don't know, I feel like I have thicker arms, and so I just don't feel like I love, again, how my arms look in this, and maybe that's being way too like hard on myself or whatever, and I feel like other people probably wouldn't notice it, but you know, it is what it is. This is it. It has a rolled hem, rolled neckline. Personally, I'm not like the biggest fan of rolled hems and necklines, but on this one, I don't mind it. And yeah, I just feel like, you know, throw on like a cute pair of jeans or leggings or something, and then you have like a really nice cute little situation here. So I haven't been wearing this because the sleeves were bugging me, but now they're not. Sometimes you just need space from your makes, you know? Does that happen to anyone else? Yeah, does that happen to anyone else where they like knit something and they hate it? Like they hate how it turns out, and you put it aside and then you pick it back up later and you put it on and you're like, what, why was I freaking out about this? Like, it's fine. It's literally fine. I feel like I'm having that moment right now, which is why these videos are so great to do, because you're just like going back through and looking at all of your old stuff and like giving it a second chance, which is really nice. I think I might try to, so that's the thing though, is like the lace. That might be really difficult to go and try and pick back up. I don't know if I'm ready for that. I don't know if I feel comfortable trying to do that. I may just try and wear this as is more and just see how I'm liking it, and then maybe at some point I might be daring enough to go and try and pick the sleeves back up and keep going with them. Or maybe I'll just make a long sleeved version in something else and leave this one as is. Let me know if you're somebody who often goes back to old projects and like tweaks them, or if you're more like me where you kind of drag your feet. Even if it's something where it's like, you know, you have to fix it in order for it to be wearable, you still never get around to it, because that's me. You'll see with some of these other ones that I need to go back and fix them, and they're not really wearable until I fix them. And yet, have I done it? No. Speaking of one that I need to go back and fix part of it, and I haven't been wearing it because I'm nervous because I haven't fixed something, and yet have I gone to do that? No. And so I literally haven't been wearing this, and it's a shame because it's a really nice sweater. This is my Lumi pullover. This is a pattern by Sari Nordlund. And this is knit in Lion Brand Fisherman's Wool for the main color, and Patton's Classic Wool worsted in the shade, not in the shade, in the colorway Meadow, I believe, for the green contrast color. Really quickly, I feel personally that this main color isn't a great color for me. I don't think I really realized how yellow it leans, especially with the green. So if I were gonna knit this again, I would have picked a more true white instead of the kind of yellowy white that this is. I just think it leans just a touch too yellow, and it looks a bit not flattering with my complexion, in my opinion. But the reason that I don't wear this is because, oh yeah, you can see it right here, and it is literally coming apart. I did not weave in this end, and I cut it, and yeah. So I needed to do something to fix that. So my friend Amanda, who always has amazing tips and tricks for me, gave me some tips to try to fix this. Have I done them? No. I think because I'm just a bit nervous, but it's coming undone, so I need to do that. And unfortunately it's on both sleeves because I'm an idiot. I think I just, the tail of the contrast color, I just didn't weave it in and didn't notice, and I cut them on both sleeves. So I do still have a bit of this yarn left over, so I feel like I can definitely try out some of Amanda's suggestions. I think a couple things she had said I could maybe try to, because the classic wool worsted is not super washed, so I could split splice it, then weave in the ends, then cut it, or I could try and tie like a little knot. There's things I can do, and it may not necessarily be like the prettiest, but I can figure it out, and it'll at least make it so I can wear this. But yeah, I'm actually a little nervous to put it on, but I'm gonna go ahead and do that anyways, but I'll just try and do it very carefully. Okay, so here it is. I feel like it looks really good. Again, the color isn't like the best, but I feel like it's okay. I do really like it, just like, again, complexion wise, I feel like the yellow isn't great, but that's the thing. If these ends weren't in danger of unraveling, I would be wearing this all the time. So I just really need to go in and fix it, and again, like I said, I just keep forgetting. It's, you know, when I think about like sitting down to do my knitting and stuff, I just think about like my current projects and I forget that there's ones that I can go back and fix. This one, I think this wool, because like these are both, I think, non-superwash, or maybe this one is, I don't remember, but it's a little bit scratchier, but nothing crazy. And I do really, really love the design of this. I just feel like every time I see a Lumi pullover, I feel like no matter like color combination, I'm just like, it looks so good. It just always looks good. It's such a nice design. So I'd highly recommend it. I kind of wish I could knit it again, maybe in different colors. I say that as if that's not an option. I literally could do that, but probably not like this year. So this next sweater is the Oslo sweater by Petite Knit. This is a drop shoulder all over stockinette sweater. And I don't wear this one a ton either. I'm gonna be honest with you, the mohair is a bit scratchy on this if I remember correctly, so it's not my favorite. What is it? My Never sweater that I made with Drops Kid Silk mohair, and it's fine. This is the Mayflower Kid Silk. Oh, also the neckline on this is like very tight. So normally this is supposed to be like a very oversized sweater. It's supposed to have, I don't know, it's supposed to have quite a bit of positive ease to it. I wanted it to be a little bit smaller, and I kind of regret that, but I also don't really know if it's the construction of the sweater or if it's, I kind of feel like the neckline was, I didn't do the best job with it, to be completely honest, and I just sort of feel like it bunches up a little bit in a weird way around the shoulders. Again, like looking at it on the viewfinder, I'm like, oh, it looks great, but like every time I would put it on and look at it in the mirror, I'm like, I don't know. This is maybe another one where I just needed a little bit more space. I don't really love how long I made it. Again, that's on me. If I were gonna knit this again, I don't think it matters enough to go back and like redo it, but I think I would have like made it more about here, and I can kind of achieve that by just letting the ribbing kind of come up a little bit, but I don't really love when it's kind of like that, you know, I don't know. But other than that, I mean, it fits pretty well. It's just, yeah, like I'm putting it on right now and it is a little itchy. It's just a bit itchy. I knit, so this was Mayflower, Kid Silk, and Knit Picks palette. I'm trying to think like what else I can say about this. Again, I haven't worn it a ton. Are we sensing a theme? I did finish this in, what was it? I finished this in June. So to be fair, I haven't had a lot of time to wear it. So finished it in June. I probably could have started taking it out more and wear it. Like honestly, now that I have it on, I'm kind of wondering if I felt like it was so prickly because I was trying it on when it was like hot out, because it's, I mean, it's a little prickly. Definitely I feel like more prickly than other mohair that I've worked with, but it's not, I don't know if I would say it's that bad. Maybe maybe it's gonna get worse if I keep it on, but I think this is a sweater where now that I have it on again, I feel like I need to start wearing it more. I feel like it's actually kind of nice. I love this for me. I'm like finding new things. I love the color of it. I think this kind of kicked off my green phase, where I started knitting a lot of things in green. Yeah, check out that sleeve length right there. That's perfect. That is absolutely perfect. So yeah, now that I have this on, I'm like, actually, this is pretty nice and I need to wear this more. I feel like the yarn is gonna hold up well. I just feel like it's like sturdy yarn. Anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and take this off now. I don't know that I just don't have a ton to say about this, but I feel like it actually looks quite nice. Maybe when I'm editing this video, I'm gonna be like, no, this is why I didn't like it. But I don't know. I feel like I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying how it looks, and it's not terribly prickly. I think that is one of the unfortunate things about knitting a sweater in summer, is that it kind of just gets put away and then I kind of forget about it and I don't necessarily bring it back out for winter time, which I really should start doing. So my next garment that I knit is the Tulsta Tank And I knit this out of Sanisgarn Line, and the colorway is green tea. I forget the number for it, but the name is green tea. If you've been watching my podcast, you know, oh, and some of my ends are coming undone. Does anyone else have that issue with summer yarns where we weave in your ends and then they kind of start to peek through? If so, and you found a solution for it, what do you do? I'm curious. But this, what do I want to say about it? I think I knit a size too big, and I also knit the straps a bit too big. Yeah, just like I need to go back and shorten the straps, and then I think it will be wearable. I'm gonna go ahead and change into it, even though I'm gonna get really cold wearing this, but I will go change into it and show you. But I just feel like it's kind of too big to the point where it just is, you know, the V-neck is a bit too shallow, you know, to just be wearing. If you can see here, it's too big. Like there's too much fabric here. And it's just, you know, it's a little too, it is a bit too low cut. Haven't really worn this a ton. Again, I need to go back, and part of me just, that's the thing, is I think that's why I haven't fixed it yet, is because it's like, I could fix the straps, right? I could kind of do something like that and it would fit better, but I feel like there's still that excess fabric, and so I think part of me just wants to completely unravel this and just knit the smaller size. It's just too big. I've been sort of having an issue ever since I began knitting garments of just not picking the correct size, because a lot of designers tell you, you know, to go off of your full bust, but the advice that I've heard, you know, more so this past year, obviously do whatever you want, but the advice that I've kind of been hearing lately is that if you're petite, especially, to go off of your upper bust measurements, because that's a little bit more accurate as to like your entire body, whereas like your bust size can, you know, depending on your cup size, it can be very different from your full, or for your under bust and your upper bust measurements, or it could not be, right? And so when you're petite and you're a bit bustier, it's like going off of the upper bust measurement is just going to generally get you a better fitting size. So I think that was something that I kind of found out after knitting this, and just, yeah, I think that's why I haven't gone back to fix it, is because it's not, I think at first I was thinking, oh, it's just a strap issue, but it's not just a strap issue. It's literally too wide here. I'm gonna go ahead and take this off and put on my next finished garment. But yeah, this one was a bit of a fail, and not because of the designer, not because of the pattern, it just didn't pick the right size. I'm gonna go ahead and pop this on. This is my Cumulus tee, which is a pattern by Petite Knit. So I'm gonna change into this real quick. So this is my Cumulus tee. I actually very much love this. It turned out really well. I'm trying to remember, I think when this was on the podcast, I think I did talk a little bit about the, you know, bind off here, the I-cord bind off being just like a little tight. I think I didn't like go down in needle size when I bound off on the sleeves and stuff like that, but overall, like, it fits really well. It's really comfortable. In the summer, I was wearing this all the time, and then I kind of put it away. So I don't really have like, I mean, I feel like it's worn really well for like me having worn it so often in the summertime. I don't really feel like there's any areas of like major wear or anything. So this is knit out of Knitting for Olive Pure Silk. I will 100% be knitting with that again. I think in the future I am going to make, I think it's called a Slightly Sassy V-neck by Amy Sher. I could have the name wrong on that one, but that one is more size inclusive and has bust shaping options. So I would like to try that pattern out, but I could see myself knitting this again. I already own the pattern and I do really like how it fits, so I might, you know, knit one again in the future. I would like to try out the pattern by Amy Sher as well and just kind of see how they both fit me and which one I like better personally. Putting this back on, I'm like, ooh, I love it so much. I definitely want more of these types of V-neck tees to wear in the summertime, and they're just, because I was wearing this like I'm talking in the summer, in like during very, very hot days, and I did not get overheated. I feel like on those like still very hot days, I could still wear this because it's just like the fabric, it's, you know, knitting from pure silk. It's like, it's lightweight, it's breathy, no, it's breathable, it's, you know, but it like, it's not, yeah, it's not see-through, which is really nice. Like, I just really love this. This is definitely, I think looking back on my knits this past year, this is also one of my absolute favorites, and I was wearing it quite a bit. And I think I should, honestly, I feel like I should just be wearing it more often anyways, and just like layer, you know, like wear this even in the fall and springtime and just layer it. But yeah, definitely want some in different colors. I feel like with my, so just FYI, I just haven't scheduled the appointment. I'm gonna go get a little bit of a chop and then have my hairstylist just match my natural color with this. And I don't know, like, I don't know if I like this color with my natural hair as much as I liked it with like my blonde hair, but I think it still looks fine, and I think I'll still wear it a good amount, but definitely want it in other colors as well. We only have 3 garments left. So next up is the Sewrella pullover. This is a pattern by Isabel Kramer. I knit this as part of a knit along that Faith from Fiber Fables was running, and this, I just remember seeing her talking about it, and I was like, that just looks like it would be so much fun to knit. So like, heck yeah. It has this lace detail running down the sleeve, and also this little lace detail at the neckline. So definitely something different that I just had not knit something like this before, so it was really, really fun. I'm gonna go pop this on, but real quick, the yarn that I used is from Knit Picks. It is their Galileo yarn, and the colorway I believe was Orion, if I am not mistaken, but I could be wrong. So here it is. This is my Sewrella here. Really, really nice, again, lace detail on the sleeves. Also, I swear I am not this bad at weaving in ends, but for some reason I have a little end coming out that needs to be fixed. I feel like, I don't know, this year was just a lot of my ends not being woven in properly. I feel like, I don't know if it's because like the yarn is so shiny, but I do feel like it's kind of like, it feels like this part is like see-through or something. This is a very drapey yarn, I feel. The sleeves on mine are, I think, a little bit tighter than they were meant to be, and I believe the reason, I was thinking about this, I'm pretty sure the reason is because I did the sleeves on traveling loop instead of magic loop, and I think that that just made my tension a little bit tighter. So I kind of have this weird situation where like the sleeves are pretty fitted, but this isn't. I don't love that, to be completely honest with you, and I feel like this is just not something that I reach for a whole lot. Right now, like, this is a bamboo merino blend. So right now it wouldn't really be like the most, you know, warm thing ever. Like, I'm sitting here and I'm kind of cold in this, to be completely honest. So it also is very soft yarn and it's quite pilly. So I don't know that I would, I think I would use this yarn again if I wanted something with a lot of drape. I don't know that it was the best choice for this. It's sport weight yarn, and so the pattern calls for a sport weight yarn. I think that's why I ended up going for it. In all honesty, I think I wouldn't opt for something like this again. I think because it's just almost like too drapey. I don't know. And yeah, and then my like the arms are just so tight. So it's just kind of a oddly fitting garment, I think, when I think about it. But it's something that I think, I don't know if it bugs me enough that I would, like, I think I would still wear it a ton. I just think, when did I finish this? I think I finished it in summer, and so I was wearing it a bit in the fall when it kind of started to get cold again, but then it kind of got too cold, so I didn't get like a ton of wear out of this, unfortunately. I think this is going to be more of a spring garment for sure. So I'll have to check back and let you know if I end up wearing it a lot more in the springtime, because I just feel like, I think it would be good, and it's not that odd looking. I think it's just, I'm overthinking it a bit. But yeah, I did really like this pattern. It was a lot of fun to knit. I think it was one of those ones that felt very intimidating at the beginning with all of the lace, but then it just, like, as long as you're just following the directions, and I feel like they're very easy to follow, it was just it was a very easy knit. I'm definitely looking forward to doing more of Isabel Kramer's patterns. I already have, I think, yeah, I already have one kind of picked out that I have some stash yarn to knit with it. So excited for that. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think I'm overthinking it. I don't think it looks that weird with the like smaller arms and stuff, but it is what it is. Now we're getting into so again, some of my most favorite knits of 2024. This is one of the ones that I am the most proud of because it's just, it was, I don't want to say it was difficult. It just took a while. It was on the needles for a while, but I was always enjoying it. It is my leaf cardigan. This is a pattern by the Crayabea, and I did kind of a boucle version where some of this yarn is boucle yarn, and then the other stripe is Surrey alpaca held with a non-superwash wool. And all of the yarns are from the Explore Knits and Fiber Spin collection in the Olive Grove colorway. So I'm just gonna, we're kind of, you know, olive green on olive green a little bit, but oh, I love it so much. And one of my favorite parts of this was sewing the button band on. There's so much mohair and like fiber that if you hear my voice getting kind of scratchy, I'm definitely inhaling a lot of fiber. It's probably not great. I don't know if I would really keep this top one button. It's a recent finished object, so I don't want to, you know, be too repetitive for people who watch my podcast, but this is how it's looking and I love it. Just, it was so much fun to knit. The intarsia part was easy peasy. It felt like it was going to be something really hard, but then it wasn't. Sewing on the button band, I thought it was going to be really, really hard. Actually loved it. Knitting the button band was not my favorite. That part was a bit tedious, but it's whatever. And then sewing on the buttons, also a ton of fun. I really enjoyed it. So yeah, this is my leaf cardigan. Sleeves, again, perfect length, and I think the body is the perfect length. It hits me like, I just feel like right at the perfect spot. I love the color, literally just love everything about this. I mean, the only little issue that I feel is just, I wish I had done a different cast on for the button band, just because it kind of flares out, which makes this buttonhole, specifically this bottom one, a little too big. So I feel like it hasn't popped out on me yet, but yeah, absolutely love this. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I haven't really worn anywhere because I don't go a lot of places. I need to start getting out more, I guess. I just haven't really had the opportunity to wear out, and it's something that I finished recently, so yeah, I'll have to start wearing it more, obviously. But I love it. It fits perfect. It's just, I feel like it's got the perfect amount of positive ease. There's no weird like gaping or bunching. I'm trying to remember what size I knit. I feel like with Rebecca's sizes, I usually pick like size 3 or size 4. And I think on this one, I could have gone down a size. So I'm not sure if I knit size 3 or size 4. It doesn't matter, but I still love it. I think if I was gonna, and I probably will knit this again because I had so much fun. If I was gonna knit this again, I might do the size down and just get one that's a little bit more of a closer fitting garment, but I still love this one. I think it's perfect, and I'm very, very happy with it. So definitely one of my favorite things that I knit in 2024. We'll definitely at some point have to knit this again, and maybe more of a colorful version, like her original sample, something like that. My next and last garment, I do have the one that's on my blocking mats, but I might quickly share it with you, but it's just like not fully dry. So, but this is the last one to try on. It's my frame sweater. Again, another favorite of the year, and definitely one where like this was such an accomplishment. All of our color work, like bottom up, knitting color work flat, like are you kidding me? I feel like this was just, I'm still shocked, I feel like, that I finished it and that I actually, and it's nice. Like I love it actually. I wore this out to get brunch with my friend and she was just like, wait, did you make that? that? And I'm like, yeah. And she was like, okay, that like, this is like the best thing that you like, this is like the most like impressive thing that you've knit yet. And I was like, yes. Because it's just, oh, it's, yeah. Let me go put it on real quick. Here it is. And oh, I just love it. It's definitely grown on me. I was a little feeling like it was a little boxy, especially when you're viewing it from this way. Like, see how it kind of hangs out here. This yarn doesn't have a ton of drape to it. It's Spin Cycle and Spinster's Daughter. It was just one of the bundles that they were selling when this pattern came out, and it's like the yarn is very, like when I was knitting with it, it was very stiff feeling, and after blocking, like it definitely lost a little bit of that stiffness, but not a ton. It has quite, and maybe that's because of the color work, because it's like that, you know, double layer, but it just feels like there's not a lot of drape to it, but it's fine. It's fine. It's not a bad thing. It's just interesting. I'm wondering kind of how it will change as I continue to wear it and like with future washes. But yeah, I'm obsessed with it. It's got kind of this bracelet sleeve. Again, preference wise, I would like it to have a little bit more length in the sleeve. I just did it to pattern. So I don't hate that it's bracelet length, but I do wish the sleeves were a bit longer. And I could have made them longer, but I just wanted to try this out. I just kind of wanted to see, and I do like it, and it is kind of nice. Like I don't have to push up my sleeves. I'm trying to remind myself of that, but I do feel a bit exposed. So this is my frame sweater, and I love it. I love it. It looks so good. So nice. And yeah, I think in terms of like, you know, new techniques this year and leveling up as a knitter in 2024, this was probably the hardest thing that I did, just with the color work, knitting color work flat. Can't say that it's my most favorite thing. I definitely would much rather knit color work in the round, but I definitely feel this is something where in the future, if there was another sweater that I wanted, if there was another sweater that I wanted to knit that did involve knitting color work flat, I would do it. It wasn't like the worst thing, but I feel like I did get a lot better. I feel like I learned a lot with this sweater, and I just, yeah, the Leaf cardigan, and I think maybe the Cumulus tee are probably the garments that I knit in 2024 that I feel like are the ones that I feel like came out the best, and that obviously this one and the Leaf cardigan are newer. Like I recently finished them, so I don't have a ton of experience wearing them, but I do feel like they're going to be ones that I opt to wear a lot more often. And the other ones, like, again, there's some that, you know, the Oslo sweater and the Uptown tee, where I'm like, oh, I actually feel like I could wear these a lot more often. Why am I not doing that? And then there's some like the Tulsa tank where I think I just need to completely rip it out, to be honest. So this was really nice to just sit down and kind of go back through all of my knits from 2024, kind of remind myself of what I liked about them, what I didn't like about them, and realizing too that I need to get back to my Lumi pullover and weave in those ends. And the Fiola as well also had a little loose end that I'm not sure if I accidentally snipped it or what. So, I'm just gonna go grab my sunset sweatshirt and just show it to you, but I'm not gonna put it on because I think it's still a bit wet. Yeah, it's just ever so slightly a bit damp, so I'm just gonna quickly show it to you and then put it back on the mats. But this is my sunset sweatshirt. This is a pattern by Jessie Made Designs. It's got that 2x2 rib, and again, like I mentioned, I would try it on for you, but it's still a bit damp. I'm gonna go put it back, but I did finish this in 2024, and I blocked it. I started blocking it in 2024. It just hasn't dried yet. That is it. Wow, I can't believe this is over. I mean, it took a really long time to film, I feel like, but it's just like, wow, like, all right, 2025, it's official, let's go. So anyways, thank you so much for hanging out with me for a bit while I went through everything that I knit in 2024. If you knit any of these patterns in 2024 as well, let me know. If you're planning on knitting some of these patterns in 2025, let me know. I would love to hear what maybe your favorite thing that you knit or made in 2024 and your least favorite thing that you knit yourself. Maybe if you had any projects that didn't quite go as planned, I'd love to hear about them. If you made it to the end of the video, leave me a coffee emoji because I have been sipping on some coffee throughout this video. Leave me a little coffee emoji. I hope you're all doing well. I hope you're having a good start to your new year. I'm wishing you lots of yarn and knitting time in 2025. Thank you all so much for being here, and thank you to those of you who have been watching my knitting podcast. I really appreciate it. I do really love sitting down and just chatting about my knitting every so often, and it's really fun to, you know, just know that there's people who enjoy knitting along with it. Anyways, keep your eyes posted for my podcast episodes in 2025. I'm going to be trying to get back to a regular upload schedule. We'll see what happens, but try to get back on that every 2 weeks podcast schedule. And anyways, thank you so much for watching. I will see you in my next podcast episode. We'll get back into the swing of things, and until then, have an amazing time with your knitting, and I will see you very soon. Bye!